If I did 0 user-generated content for Dr. Berg, I'm still going to do in the ballpark of $100 million a year in revenue for him. Nobody else is talking about Dr. Berg's products. That is how powerful his content is. So just today, I found this on Facebook. I was targeted. I don't know if you've seen it before. You mentioned UGC. So for those of you guys that are not familiar with that term, user-generated content, it means the people that are just like you and me that are creating content around this product, and they pick it up and they say, wow, this is lion's mane. I just received it. Oh, it tastes delicious. It's amazing. And I'm using it for this and this and that, right? It's just makes it look a lot more like real and human, which in these social media platforms right now is very powerful. What we found is that the more produced something is, the less results it gets, because people are being conditioned to high production things. They don't want to engage with them as much.
They don't trust it.
They don't trust it, even though it's high quality. You got this fancy studio production and all these like expensive equipment stuff, and they don't want it as much. So UGC is very powerful. If you are a personal brand, nothing is more powerful than you, right? That's the number one thing, right? Like if you take my father out of the natural slim equation, we are not natural slim. All right, Natural Slim is what it is, which is a pretty massive brand that has serviced millions of people across the world at this point. We're in 9 countries. We are somewhere around $75 million in revenue internationally just in 2022. You take out the personal brand, I don't know where we'll be at. Now, here's the thing. Here's the reality. You got to leverage opportunities that are in front of you. I had my father as an opportunity, so I leveraged them. If I didn't have him, so he passed away almost 2 years ago already. If I didn't have him, I would have figured out some of the marketing strategy. But he was the opportunity because he was a great communicator, great content creator. He knew how to capture attention, so we just went all in with him. We created a massive following. Still today, his content is seen by more people than before he passed away, because we are doing some of the things that we want to do for you, right? Like with the content distribution and all those things. So just to give you an example, in the month of November, our social media channels had 3,200 publications organically, 3,200. So he would make one video a day for
your dad,
my father,
for
Natural Slim, for our brand. And it wasn't for the brand. It was for content, education, information, value. I always say that there's 3 types of content that you can create: inspiration, education, entertainment. My dad was an educator. He was an educator. You could say that he was entertaining too, right? Like people would laugh with him. He was a great communicator. Going back to the content distribution, it's very important to make it look like organic and natural. And now I'm going to go back to user-generated content. That content is really, really powerful for brands and e-commerce brands and anybody that wants to get attention on these platforms. And if you don't have a unicorn like my father, user-generated content is your go-to strategy. Like if you have a great content creator like Dr. Berg, you go all in with that person, because that person becomes real and people start buying your stuff. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. If I did 0 user-generated content for Dr. Berg, I'm still going to do in the ballpark of $100 million a year in revenue for him. Even though nobody else is talking about Dr. Berg's products. That is how powerful his content is. If you take away Dr. Berg, the brand doesn't really exist, right? So it's really dependent on Dr. Eric Berg.